Hey guys, I have already introduced amino acid metabolism in my previous video. Now, let's see the rest of topics in amino acid metabolism. So these are the topics we're going to discuss now. That is urea cycle, catabolism of phenyl alanine and triosine, and certain disorders of amino acid metabolism. Urea cycle. Urea cycle means urea is a end product of protein metabolism or amino acid metabolism. They are synthesized in our liver and they are transported to kidneys for the excretion in urine. And urea cycle is the first metabolic cycle. It was introduced by Hans Krebs and Kurt Hanselet. That's in 1932. So urea cycle is also called Krebs-Hanselet cycle. Urea have two amino groups. One is derived from ammonia and other one is from aspartate. Urea synthesis is 5-step process using 5 different enzymes. 2 enzymes are present in mitochondria and other enzymes are localized in cytosol. Let's see the cycle. This is the urea cycle. So bicarbonate and ammonia is react together in the presence of carbamyl phosphate synthase. So we'll get carbamyl phosphate and here 2 ATP is consumed. Then this orthanine will enter into mitochondria and they will react with orthanine transcarbamylase. So we'll get L-citrulline. And this L-citrulline will undergo reaction with arginosuccinate synthase and gives us arginosuccinate. In between, ATP is converted into AMP plus pyrophosphate, also aspartate is included. Then this arginosuccinate will undergo reaction with arginosuccinate lysis and fumarate and this results in arginine and they will undergo reaction with arginase 1. Then at that time the water will releases urea and the cycle will continues. This is urea cycle. Urea cycle is irreversible and they consumes only 4 ATPs. That is 2 ATPs utilized for the synthesis of carbamyl phosphate and 1 ATP into AMP and PPI. That is to produce the arginosuccinate that equals to 2 ATP. So hence 4 ATPs are actually consumed. And this is the overall reaction of the urea cycle. That is ammonia plus carbon dioxide plus aspartate plus 3 ATP. We will get urea, fumarate, 2 ADP and 2 phosphate group, AMP and PPI. So that's about urea cycle. In healthy people, the normal level of urea concentration is 10 to 40 mg per dl. About 15 to 30 gram of urea is excreted in the urine per day. And blood urea estimation is widely used as a screening test for the evaluation of kidney function test. And it is also estimated in laboratory by urease method or diacetyl monoxide DAM procedure. And this increased blood urea may be broadly classified into 3 categories. It is pre-renal, renal and post-renal. First one is pre-renal. Pre-renal means when blood urea increases, the protein breakdown will get increased and they lead to negative nitrogen balance. The symptoms are fever will be there, diabetic coma, and thyrotoxiosis. That means the thyroid hormone level will be high. Next is renal. Renal also, when urea level increases, they result in many disorders like acute glomerulonephritis. It is a inflammation or damage in the glomeruli. Glomeruli means it is a network of blood vessels. Next is nephroclerosis. Nephroclerosis means it is the hardening of the walls of small arteries and arterioles of a kidney. Arterioles means it's small arteries that convey blood from arteries to even smaller capillaries. That is nephroclerosis. Next, chronic nephritis. Chronic nephritis means it is the inflammation in the kidneys that may be acute or chronic. Next is polycystic kidney. That means the cyst formation in the kidney. Next is post-renal. Post-renal means when there is a obstruction in the urinary tract like tumors, stones, or enlargement of prostate gland, etc. When blood urea will increases. Also, this results in increased reabsorption of urea from the renal tubules. And the important term, that is uremia. Uremia means increases the blood urea levels and they leads to renal failure. Asthenia. Asthenia means it is also increase in the blood urea or nitrogen metabolites. It is not associated with the renal diseases. Next is catabolism of phenylalanine and triosine. We all know phenylalanine and triosine are aromatic amino acids. Phenylalanine is an essential amino acid and triosine is a non-essential one. The only function of phenylalanine is that is converting them into triosine. So let's discuss about cycle. Phenylalanine. Phenylalanine will react with phenylalanine hydroxylase and we will get triosine. So the enzyme is phenylalanine triosine. Then this triosine will react with triosine transaminase. Then we'll get para-hydroxyphenyl pyruvate. Then they will react with para-hydroxyphenyl pyruvate dehydrogenase and we'll get homogenetase. And this homogenetase will react with the enzyme homogenetase oxidase and we'll get 4-mallyl acetoacetate. And this 4-mallyl acetoacetate will react with mallyl acetoacetate isomerase and we'll get 4-fumaryl acetoacetate. Then this 4-myl acetoacetate hydrolase will react and they'll form fumarate and acetoacetate. This acetoacetate will enter into fat, then fumarate will goes to TCA cycle and also some will go to glucose. And see here, that is triosine transaminase. Here reaction takes place, this amino acid conversion. You can see here this ascorbate is reacted into dehydrosorbate, H2O and carbon dioxide. And the homogenetase means here oxygen is released. Then here also the water is released. So that during this take place this reaction, intermediate reactions are taking place like this. Then the disorders. phenylketonuria, tyrosinemia type 2, neonatal tyrosemia, alkaptonuria, triosinosis or triosinemia type 1, albinism, and finally hypopigmentation. So here I included only phenylketonuria. Phenylketonuria. Phenylketonuria means it is the most common metabolic disorder in amino acid metabolism. Out of 10,000 births, one will affected with phenylketonuria or PKU. It is due to deficiency of hepatic enzymes like phenylalanine hydroxylase. And also it is reported that due to defect in dihydrobiopectin reductase, phenylketonuria will causes. And this enzyme will impairs the synthesis of tetrahydrobiopectin, and that is required for the action of phenylalanine hydroxylase. So if phenylalanine is not proper, so we cannot convert it into triosin. Phenylalanine metabolism in PKU. Accumulation of phenylalanine. Accumulation means conversion, that means more phenylalanine is consumed, that is in tissues and blood. They results in increased excretion in urine. So due to some disturbance in this routine metabolism, phenylalanine is diverted to many pathways, resulting in excessive production of phenylpyruvate, phenylacetate, and phenylglutamate, etc. And all these metabolites are excreted in the urine, and they will increase the concentration of PKU. And this phenylacetate will have mousy odor. Next is biochemical manifestations. First one is central nervous system. So in central nervous system, how it is affected? That is, mental retardation will be there, and it is very difficult to walk or talk, and growth will be failure, then seizures and tremors. And if we are untreated, these patients, their IQ level will be very less, that is below 50. This is because the accumulation of phenylalanine in the brain, it will disturbs the transport and metabolism of aromatic amino acids. Also the synthesis of serotonin. Serotonin means it is a neurotransmitter. It will be insufficient. So due to this, the phenylalanine and its metabolites with tryptophan, it will impair the synthesis of serotonin. And also the defect in myelin formation, it is also observed in these type of patients. Next, effect of pigmentation. Pigmentation means the melanin, it is a pigment synthesized from triosin by triosinase. So due to this accumulation of phenylalanine, it will competitively inhibits this triosinase and impairs this melanin formation. This result in hypopigmentation, and causes are light skin color, fair hair, blue eyes, etc. Diagnosis of PKU. It is mostly dictated by screening newborn babies for increased plasma levels of phenylalanine. Their normal level will be, that is about 20 to 65 mg per dl, that is 1 to 2 mg per. And it was usually carried out by the Guthrie result test, that is using bacteria Bacillus subtilis. It is a bioassay for phenylalanine. This test is usually performed after the baby is fed with breast milk for the couple of days. And all babies that is born in USA are screened for PKU and by testing the elevated levels of phenylalanine. And phenyl pyruvate in urine also can be detected by ferric chloride test. So we'll get a green color. And sometimes this test is not proper, so it is not specific. Treatment of PKU. We have to follow dietary intake which should be proper, and early diagnosis. As maximum we have to diagnosis. Then protein diet, we have to put some restriction to protein diet. Also we can administer 5 hydroxy tryptophan and dopa. These are the treatments for PKU. And thank you.